A very good evening to all of you. Good evening. आज आपसे मिलके काफी अच्छा लग रहा है। मेरा नाम रौनक चुकेश्वर है और मैं अटल इनोवेशन मिशन नीति आयोग टीम से हूँ। My name is Ronak and I am from the Atal Innovation Mission team at NITI Aayog. Today we have quite an interesting session about virtual reality, about augmented reality and about user experience. And today we are also going to put our hands on in some of interesting exercises about augmented reality and virtual reality. आज एक काफी इंटरेस्टिंग दिन है। आज हम कुछ हैंड्स ऑन एक्टिविटीज करने वाले हैं और ऑगमेंटेड रियलिटी और वर्चुअल रियलिटी के बारे में और चीजें जानने की कोशिश करेंगे। और उसके लिए हमारे पास हमारी इंडस्ट्री से एक एक्सपर्ट है एंड फॉर दैट वी हैव एन इंडस्ट्री एक्सपर्ट हु इज विद अस टुडे। हिज नेम इज मिस्टर जयनेश BC. He's currently working with the Indian Institute of Technology at Madras to realize their augmented reality, virtual reality, and XR projects and research activities. He has been working closely with various game design organizations and previously was working for Unity. He has a decade-long experience and has demonstrated history of working with both education and professionals in the domain of game design, gamification, advertising gaming, e-learning, VR, and computer animation. आज हमारे साथ जय नरेश हैं जो करेंटली इंडियन इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी मद्रास के साथ काम कर रहे हैं उनके ऑगमेंटेड रियलिटी, वर्चुअल रियलिटी और एक्सआर प्रोजेक्ट्स को रियलाइज और रिसर्च करने के लिए। जैनरेश इससे पहले यूनिटी करके एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में काम कर रहे थे जिनकी एक्सपर्टीज है गेम डिजाइन। जैनरेश के पास 10 साल से ज्यादा एक्सपीरियंस है एजुकेशन, प्रोफेशनल डेवलपमेंट, गेम डिजाइन, गेमिफिकेशन, एडवर्ड गेमिंग, ई लर्निंग, कंप्यूटर एनिमेशन का। Without further ado, I would like to pass it on to Jainesh for this wonderful interactive session. Thank you so much. Over to you, Jainesh.
Thank you, Ronak. Hi, everyone. Hope we will have a very good start on this. In fact, I'm going to be relying a lot about future technologies. ये future technologies ऐसा है कि people dream a lot about it. यहाँ पे future होगा बोल के. And these are the new technologies where dreams become reality. So without further ado, let me take you guys into the world of virtual reality, augmented reality, and at the same time, let me also give you an explanation of what digital reality is now. मैं अपना screen share start कर रहा हूँ, 1 minute. So what is virtual reality? What is realities? आज आप देखेंगे बहुत सारा चीजें में मोबाइल फोन यूज कर रहे हैं हम लोग, but when we started all this was something where people wanted to understand ये क्या हो सकता है, because mobile technology was unknown and a lot of people did not understand mobile technology at that point of time. So today what we have is a technology जिनसे हम नए नए realities create कर सकते हैं. So this realities, people do not understand how much of work goes into creating this. So यहाँ पे we are talking about 3 different divisions and ये सब चीजें है मगर नहीं है. ये बहुत confusing है understand करने के लिए, मगर I'm going to be taking you guys step by step, helping you understand ये कैसे हो सकता है. और मोस्टली हम लोग ये यूज कर रहे हैं मगर जानते नहीं है ये क्या है. So we are going to be literally understanding that where they are in current life and how we are using in the moment of time. So first of all, digital realities starts with virtual reality. यहाँ पे क्या होता है? The definition is it helps you, transports you into a unreal world. if there is a move, right? आप लोग space में जाना चाहते हैं, नहीं तो deep sea जाना चाहते हैं, मगर let's say you are not physically able to do it. लगता है इसी समय कोविड है, कोविड में बाहर भी नहीं जा सकते हम लोग, मगर जाने के मन होता है. So what happens is we want to teleport ourselves, we want to transfer ourselves into a new system. This particular new system is controlled by the experiences in the body. We have a lot of experience where we are completely working with tandem. हमारे पास 5 senses है. Vision से आंख होता है. Hearing, which is again you need to hear things, so vision is helping you see, hearing is helping you listen. Then you have the touch sense, which is about feeling the nature of things, feeling ये कैसे होता है, ये गर्म है कि ठंडा है, कैसे जानते हैं. ये सब मिला के एक आदमी को सेंस देता है. वर्चुअल रियलिटी में we use the vision and cheat the user so that he can be inside a moon. He can literally go to a moon, look at different places of the moon, understand how it is. 60% of the body ka sense depends on eyesight. And the vision is very important, that if you can start with it, you can put any user in any different location you want. Now, moving on to this, how is it possible? Obviously, users होना चाहिए, and user के पास एक अनोखी चीज, which is nothing but a HMD. This HMD is nothing but head mounted display. ये एक स्क्रीन है और कुछ नहीं. ये स्क्रीन आंख में डाल सकते हैं, and the moment you do it, आप जहां भी हो, you will be teleported into a location whichever you select. आप जंगल में जा सकते हैं, आप मून पे जा सकते हैं, आप डीप सी में भी जा सकते हैं. Many places ऐसा एक चीज सिर्फ गेमिंग के लिए होता है. Like ये टेक्नोलॉजी जैसे शुरू हुआ, ये गेमिंग के लिए शुरू हुआ. Lot of people wanted to be different avatars. अब सब लोग को maybe Spider-Man पता है, right? Spider-Man, if you want to be Spider-Man for let's say 20 or 30 hours of gameplay, कैसे हो सकता है? So once you put on the HMD, आपके पास ये spider vision आ जाता है. This is a simple demo. यहाँ पे जो दिख रहा है, this is about how to play Spider-Man in VR. So this is a first-person system. When I say first-person system, यहाँ पे आपके लिए 2 हाथ देगा, and this is the same hand that you're using as a controller. आप खोल सकते हैं, ऐसा आप देख सकते हैं कहाँ पे है आप. So you're practically standing in New York. You're practically able to share people whatever elements and objects हो सकता है. So this is an example of games where you can use this and actually be Spider-Man for 10-20 minutes of experience. आईना है, देख सकते हैं, hand controls. So it is just not, as a toy. It's not just a toy where you can, experiment with multiple things. It gives you the experience of being the Spider-Man. कैसे वेब शूट कर सकते हैं, कैसे स्विंग कर सकते हैं, कैसे स्पाइडरमैन उधर इधर घूमेगा. All that is possible in this. So this is a very fun based interaction. This fun based interaction is very, very, very immersive. When we say immersive, it puts you inside the world and you are actually working as part of the whole system together. Now, whatever you're seeing here is just an example. It can be any game. ये Batman हो सकता है. It can be let's say Shaktiman. It can be Chota Bheem, right? So all this puts the word virtual reality by saying that virtual is ये हो नहीं सकता, reality is यही हो रहा है. ये दोनों मिला के virtual reality is a technology which is now today not just for entertainment but moves beyond entertainment. So when I say moves beyond entertainment, we're going to look at one example of saying how it will actually move beyond entertainment, right? So let me go to my next slide. Long. So this particular slide, we are going to see how virtual reality has moved beyond entertainment, right? So जो देख रहे हैं हम ये medical simulation. You can look at different body parts, how communication happens between cell levels, bones कैसे जोड़ते हैं, क्या होता है recovery पे. It also gives you insights to what happens when somebody is actually, engaged as part of a distribution cycle. ये अभी industrial use cases भी हो सकता है. We can train people on engineering use cases where ये पूरा जेट इंजन को दे सकते हैं और जेट इंजन को डिसअसेंबल करके वापस असेंबल कर सकते हैं. ये सब मिला के आज वर्चुअल रियलिटी टेक्नोलॉजी को बहुत काफी कॉम्प्लेक्स दिखाता है, मगर ये सब सिंपल है. When I say simple, it's very simple to understand how you can build these small but effective solutions which engineers, plumbers, electrician, you can also have different kinds of people talking to each other, collaborating, एक साथ बैठ के एक ही रूम पे देख सकते हैं क्या हो रहा है. So आज बहुत सारा इंडस्ट्रीज इसको यूज कर रहे हैं. इसीलिए ये टेक्नोलॉजी अभी बहुत फास्ट ग्रोइंग एंड इम्प्लीमेंटेड टेक्नोलॉजी है. So we call it exponentially growing technology. So not just medical, it moves beyond medical, it moves beyond education. You can see it in tourism, you can see it in robotic simulations, you can see it in high risk scenarios. ये high risk scenarios क्या होता है? Let's say fire होता है, right? When there is a real fire building, you actually try to act or react, to be more precise. So we cannot control fire. So if you do something wrong, ये पूरा risk बढ़ जाता है and then people need to be helpful in saving us. So this is why high risk scenario like nuclear plant का operation सीखना है किसी को, मगर गलती से switch गलत हो गया तो पूरा operation गया. So ये सब लोग को लिए train करने के लिए virtual reality has become very predominant, and a lot of people in the space agencies are using virtual reality. So any of these industries use just virtual reality in different perspectives. One of the huge advantage that we have seen in the industry is automotive, जहाँ पे cars बनते हैं. Cars में बनने के लिए बहुत सारा चीजें चाहिए. लाइक लाइट्स होता है, उसका टेल लाइट अलग होता है, देन यू हैव द स्टीयरिंग व्हील, इंटीरियर्स, एक्सटीरियर्स, ये पूरा बॉडी का शेप, ये सब डिजाइन करके एक जगह पे असेंबल करना बहुत मुश्किल है. बट आफ्टर वी आर इट्स वेरी वेरी इजी, क्योंकि सब चीज डिजिटल हो गया है एंड पीपल आर एबल टू ब्रिंग दीज डिजाइंस इनटू अ कॉमन लोकेशन. समझ ले हेडलाइट फ्रांस से आ रहा है, टेल लाइट जापान से आ रहा है, राइट, और बॉडी यहाँ पे चाइना से आ रहा है. ये सब को इंटीग्रेट कहाँ कर रहे हैं? पुणे में कर रहे हैं, असेंबल कर रहे हैं. इसको कैसे सीखेंगे? पांच बिना. ये सब अभी वीआर में कर सकते हैं. हाई रिस्क सिनेरियोस ट्रेनिंग is tough. So when we say tough, you will see different kinds of scenarios here. One example that we are going to see is fires सब एक ही साथ नहीं होंगे. You will have blue fire, you will have red fire, and you have yellow fire. And there are different type of equipments which actually help you, handle this. ये सब खरीद के एक जगह पे स्टोर करके किसी को दिखाने के लिए नामुमकिन है. इसलिए क्या होता है, ये नामुमकिन चीज को वी आर मेकिंग इट ऑल डिजिटली अवेलेबल, और उसको एक सिनेरियो में भी डाल सकते हैं. सेइंग दैट किचन फायर पानी डाल के सिर्फ ठीक नहीं होगा, इंस्टेड आप एक सादा फायर एक्सटिंग्विशर यूज कर सकते हैं. अगर इफ इट इज एन इंडस्ट्रियल फायर, you will have to use a foam based fire extinguisher. Sometimes ये प्रैक्टिस करके बहुत सारे फायर फाइटर्स अभी यूएस पे ट्रेन हो रहे हैं. So this technology looks brand new, looks challenging, but at the same time आज ऐसे हो गया कि 1970s में जब मोबाइल फोन का आइडिया शुरू हुआ था, राइट, उसी समय पीपल वर सेइंग ये नामुमकिन है. आज वीआर को देख के सब लोग ऐसे ही बोल रहे हैं ये नहीं होने वाला है, ये कैसे हो सकता है. सो टुडे वीआर हैज बिकम वेरी वेरी एक्सेसिबल. 10 साल से पहले जब वीआर में हम लोग शुरू हुए थे, उस समय इट वाज वेरी रेस्ट्रिक्टेड, बट देन एवरीथिंग चेंज. बहुत सारे लोग हार्डवेयर स्टार्ट किया था. वीआर को सीखने के लिए एक ही एक चैलेंज है, वीआर के लिए हार्डवेयर चाहिए. And one of that problem was solved by the big giant, which is Google, by helping us with a simple but effective design of cardboard VR. The cardboard VR बोल के एक चीज है which is like आप घर पे बना सकते हैं. So what is cardboard VR? Practically, it's simple cardboard and your mobile phone. ये दोनों चीज रख के, और तीनों चीज, आपको लेंस भी ऐड करना पड़ेगा, बट ये तीनों मिला के यू कैन एक्सपीरियंस एवरीथिंग. आप ताजमहल देख सकते हैं, नहीं तो आप एप्पल की सेंटर देख सकते हैं, नहीं तो आप गूगल मैप्स में जाके किसी का स्ट्रीट व्यू देख सकते हैं. सो हाउ इज दिस पॉसिबल? गूगल हैज क्रिएटेड दिस एप्लीकेशन which is helping people to explore. When we say explore, it is giving any entry level interested person to understand VR. So it's a good entry point for people to start with. और उसके बाद it takes you to the next level. What is the next level? You work with enterprise grade platforms. And enterprise grade platforms, HTC, Oculus, or it could be HP or Microsoft, they are all having the same principle. So principle एक ही है, हमको सिर्फ इसको वापस अप्लाई करके यूज करके एक अच्छा सा एप्लीकेशन बनाना है. सो व्हाट डू यू नीड? ऑब्वियसली कार्डबोर्ड टू बिगिन विद, राइट. उसके बाद गूगल कार्डबोर्ड एप्लीकेशन, एंड आपको प्रिंट करना पड़ेगा गूगल कार्डबोर्ड किट. ये गूगल कार्डबोर्ड किट का लिंक मैं यहाँ पे एम्बाइब किया है. सो एट द एंड ऑफ द प्रेजेंटेशन आपको ये पीडीएफ दे सकता हूं मैं, एंड ये पीडीएफ के अंदर आप चलेंगे तो it will actually say ye kit kahan se hai, right? And if you look at any of the other applications, even if you click that, it exactly opens up your browser and it says, okay, यहाँ पे Google Cardboard का systems है, and आपको further पढ़ना है तो पढ़ सकते हैं, experience करना तो experience कर सकते हैं, and you can do a lot more research on this, right? So all the links are imbibed. एंड जैसे मैंने बोला था लेंस भी चाहिए, लेंस भी अमेजोन में मिल सकता है. सो अ क्विक सर्च हेल्प मी शो वेयर द लेंस इज, व्हाट द लेंस इज यूज्ड फॉर, राइट? यहाँ पे आपके लिए करेक्ट साइज और फोकल लेंथ मैच कर सकते हैं. सो ऑल दिस एंड देन योर पेरेंट्स मोबाइल फोन. सो इट्स माय अंडरस्टैंडिंग दैट लॉट ऑफ पीपल हियर, लॉट ऑफ बच्चे are just getting together and become thought entrepreneurs, thinking of being the first level of children who can be great product designers. So उसके लिए हम टेक्नोलॉजी सीख रहे हैं, इसीलिए थोड़ा परमिशन भी ले जाइए आप आपके पेरेंट्स से मोबाइल फोन यूसेज के लिए. और if you're above 14 16, be responsible in using mobile phones. चलो get started. So क्या कर सकते हैं? First, all right, as the first step, we would need to print out the stencils. The stencils is nothing but simple diagram which is already saved in the Google Kit. And once you print it, stick it into your cardboard, right? Once you stick it into your cardboard, all you need to do is cut it out, have a safe copy, and it will look very rough, right? Uske baad, please understand that there will be foldable lines, and these foldable lines is what you need to use to fold the cardboard into this particular final shape. Now, when you are building this, आप इसमें lens लगा सकते हैं, but I normally prefer, to stick it with glue and hot glue or masking tape, so that ये थोड़ा strong रहेगा. Because मेरा phone थोड़ा भारी है, so strong रहना बहुत मुश्किल हो जाता है कभी-कभी cardboard पे. So once you put these things together, right? There are two ways to use it. One way is to आप पकड़ के पूरा experience को download करके check कर सकते हैं. The other way is ये optional straps लगा के you can actually completely put it on together. Now, when you put this completely on together, you have multiple things to look at. When we say multiple things to look at, you can work between let's say Netflix or YouTube, right? Hands free पूरा देखने के लिए ये head straps use कर सकते हैं. So this gives you hands free access, and at the same time, you have the other hand which is free for interactions. What kind of interactions can you do in a VR application, right? So let's look at some VR applications. Once you have created this cardboard, the first thing you can do is go in and see the solar system. Now, सब लोग solar system पता है. I think even from grade 6 to all the way up, everybody knows and feels how the solar system really is. But the truth is, we are all looking at representation. Books में drawing हो सकता है, or it could be 3D models or animated films that show us what the solar system looks like. But in real life, what you're looking at is the simple Titan, right? Which is just the Jupiter planet and all the different moons. And Earth is like a small dot somewhere here or there. This gives actual representation. Titans of the space gives you the actual size, the representation, the feel of how far the distance between the sun and Earth is. You can explore the difference between how far you need to go to Mars, and you really understand it in terms of visual engagement. So these applications give you a real life example of saying how to do it better. The next one that comes into the usage is watching Discovery Channel in VR. Discovery Channel is known for giving us the best in terms of educational content. Now, what if you can participate in that educational content? So that is what Discovery VR Channel is. You can go into an exhibition, look at a particular booth, look at the various formats of getting a booth, right? And understand in close up what is happening and being demonstrated. Or go on a virtual tour. So at COVID, the easiest thing you can do to get out is actually go on a virtual tour, understand, some historic places, or if you're travel frenzy and you're, all about, looking at culture, history, this is a very, very good expedition app that you can do a virtual tour about. So it is like having your picnic, but sitting at your home. In fact, in one location, we are helping children, especially who are specially able, to come with a different perspective and see the world as they want to get motivated with. Or just maze ke liye, just for fun, do a roller coaster ride. And all this is possible from your mobile phone, right? You just put on your mobile phone within your cardboard, put the cardboard on your eyes, and start enjoying all this experience. So this brings us at the end of virtual reality. Everybody today, which is big automotive companies to the final industrial companies, they have started adopting to AR VR. So by the time you come out with your product or come out with your degree, or if you're going to do masters, and then you're going to be seeing, jaise 40 years back, when people came out with mouse in the year 1960s, सब लोग हंस रहे थे, ये डब्बे में किस लिए चाहिए? When people were talking about smartphones in 1980s, people were saying ये नामुमकिन है. And when the year 2000 broke in, and internet, mobile phone, computing, and smart devices are now a fashion in 2010, we are looking at people being unbelievably changed by all this technology. And same impact, if you start looking at future technologies like AR and VR, define products, have an ownership for the next 5 to 6 years, you're looking at yourself becoming one of the entrepreneuring space and changing by becoming a pioneer where you're spearheading technology, initiative, and a lot of applications. Now, iska technology क्या है? Augmented reality. Well, ये opposite. So you're bringing the user into an unreal world. So you're taking a user and you're teleporting him into the moon, right? Which is VR. But what if I can get all the moon data and put it inside your mobile phone? And then whenever you're looking at it, change the perspective. That is augmented reality. Augmented reality is the reverse of virtual reality. It uses a layer, a device again. In this case, a very simple mobile device. Okay. And what it does is it really talks about how to engage and how to work, right, with the data in a virtual space. We will be seeing a lot of different examples of it. But what you should understand is ye naya nahi hai. It's been there for a long period of time, and we have been using it in one format or the another. When you look at a car dashboard, right? So it tells you how much fast or how fast you're going, or how much petrol do you have, or what is the speed of your engine. And today's car has become a little more smart. It tells you the gear, कैसे जाने हैं, map दिखाता है. ये सब augmented reality की previous generation. It's called human computer interaction. So today augmented reality has just taken it one step ahead. Using your handheld device, आप maps use कर रहे हैं, and that maps is an example of augmentation. It tells you आप कहाँ पे है, कहाँ जाना है, and it exactly tells you कितना दूर है. So using this whole concept, right, maps has evolved into multiple formats. When the map can tell you where you are, where you want to go, and the distance between them, right, it also can tell you the best route, and if there is traffic in between, right, or if you are walking or you're driving. ये सब फीचर्स अभी हमारे पास मोबाइल फोन में मैप्स के अंदर है. So most people use it. When I say most people, we see around 70% of the mobile users use this particular feature without even knowing that it is an augmentation on human interaction. Augmented reality uses these concepts and also visually depicts it. So when you're driving a car, it says turn right. It's one helpful information that is making a particular experience better. So augmented reality के लिए mobile phone काफी है. Or if you want to go for the industrial augmented reality, you can again use handheld devices, right? So which keep it in front of your eyes, like Google Glass or Music's Blade or Magic Leap. You have multiple industrial platforms which you can use to build your own applications. Now, today, the most common part is most of the education textbook, right? Even NCRT is actually augmenting information so that your textbook you can actually have a better experience out of. Now, this is a new industry application, but with an existing technology. The technology is becoming rapid and very fast, and everybody is using it. आप देखेंगे तो you will see Google again here, Apple here, Facebook here, right? Amazon भी है इस पे. So every big multinational corporation is working with augmented reality to provide one service or the service in the best format. So who are these industries? Manufacturing industry है, marketing industry use करेगा. So how is marketing industry using them? आप लोग के पास flyers होंगे, वो flyers को आप देखेंगे तो मोबाइल फोन की अंदर आपका पूरा घर दिखा सकते हैं. Education, like new NCRT AR books. Show the NCRT app against a book, and you will actually see, the content popping out. This could be parts of a heart, a fashion, or it could be a complete 360-degree tour of a particular location. So retail industry. ये कितना बड़ा प्रिंटर खरीद रहा है, छोटा प्रिंटर खरीद रहा हूँ या बड़ा प्रिंटर खरीद रहा हूँ. Am I buying a dress which is bigger in size for me or smaller in size for me? Can I try out that dress? Can I have multiple medical treatments for a single wound? How bad is my wound? कहीं पे जाके गिर गया मैंने, वो फोटो खींच के डॉक्टर को भेज के पूछ सकता हूँ क्या हो रहा है. Is it completely bad or something new? And obviously the entertainment industry. Movie का ads, नहीं तो games which actually use. So Angry Birds. I know a lot of people are sitting with Angry Birds, talking about how Angry Bird has changed gaming in the past few months, right? Sorry, few years, not months. Now Angry Birds is available in AR, right? I'll also show you a game which actually revolutionized AR gaming space. But let's start with understanding ये सब क्या है, different types क्या है. So AR is typically based of two types. The first type is image based. एक कार्ड होगा या एक इमेज होगा, वो इमेज को देके AR will give you more information, right? And then you have markerless. It understands the environment around you. इसके लिए एक space create करता है, and then you actually work with it. Now, when we are working with marker based AR, so typically you need something at the bottom. आपका phone becomes your interface to that particular picture, and based on the picture it starts getting 3D objects and stuff. This particular image is called as a AR marker, right? And this particular marker contains some information which is converted. So this is one example of that. We're going to quickly show you what an AR book is all about. So what you're seeing here is a simple example of AR, right? Whenever the page changes, the marker becomes different, right? And based on the marker, you have new content which gets loaded. So next page. Okay, यहाँ पे एक translation example दिया है. Typically Hindi to English. Again, the other way around. So translation exercise कर सकते हैं हम यहाँ पे. Okay, the next AR marker where you have cartoons, where you have beautiful houses, where you can design multiple things. आप different objects को select कर सकते हैं. So these are AR based markers. If the image is not there in the real world, आपके लिए वो 3D object दिखेगा नहीं. And it's very interesting because you can build your own AR books like this. Okay. All right. So now we are going to go to the next part. So what are we able to do? So this is just one use case that I wanted to show today because this is done by a student who is actually learning AR, right? Magar, the ideology is to create the product on their own, right? So what is the product idea that they want to build? So this student is actually trying to establish through a QR marker that he wants to visualize the equation. हर एक equation के लिए एक curve होता है. So this is how scientists actually represent these different type of curves. So this particular application tries to bring out these curves in a 3D world. So what you are seeing currently is x के लिए एक value है, y के लिए एक value है, z के लिए एक value है. When you give these kind of values, you are able to bring out the best thing inside this particular application, and you are able to understand not maths as numbers, but also as these kind of visual vectors. ये कहाँ पे यूज होता है? स्पेस पे, डिफेंस पे, सिमुलेशंस पे, आपको डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट, साइक्लोन्स को स्टडी करने के लिए, बहुत सारे चीज के लिए ये एप्लीकेशन यूज हो सकता है. So this is one example of it. Now we are looking at markerless AR application. So what is this markerless AR? इसके लिए कुछ कोड या इमेज नहीं चाहिए, सिर्फ मोबाइल फोन चाहिए. इसका यूज करके हम बहुत कर सकते हैं. अभी एक वीडियो दिखाने वाला हूं. ये आइकिया बोल के एक बड़ा सा फर्नीचर कंपनी है. इनका एप्लीकेशन है ये. And this one shows how you can use multiple applications to have 3D objects within your home. So let me play this. Give me a minute. A video में कुछ problem है. Okay. Again, something wrong. Give me a minute. Let me stop sharing and start it again. Okay, not connecting. All right, we are back on. Sorry for that small glitch. Let's get into AR. I hope you can hear the audio now. So you scan your house. A simple representation is brought in. Select your 3D objects, which is the furnitures, and you can start arranging it.
Chair, we can't hear anything. Also, we are unable to view the video.
1 minute. You're not able to hear me or the video or both.
The video, you are audible.
Okay, so I think we'll not be able to solve it right now. Let's move ahead. All right, so let me give you the back and replay this session.
Yeah, yeah.
So what you're looking at here is we use an iPhone, right? Once you get your mobile phone out, you actually scan this whole environment, right? So the phone understands that this is the object, floor, and it's also understanding there are walls and other things into it. Once you're done with it, you can choose any furniture that you want, right? And start arranging your house with that given furniture. So what this helps you to do is avoid these errors, which typically they are showing, which is like identifying or buying the wrong size of furniture, or trying to measure and understand everything in metric numbers and coming down to the shop to figure out whether you have a particular arrangement. Because IKEA is so commonly used that everybody can start using this app and place the right object to buy and move progress forward. So this is one example of the markerless AR. Now getting back to the next one, which is the location based AR. Now this is very interesting because apart from maps, I said there is one game which changed the entire industry. Everybody started looking at augmented reality because of this particular game. In fact, a lot of people in India also played this game and still play the game, but obviously because of COVID, this is not possible today. But this created a revolution for people to come out, walk, go to different locations and hunt. So this game is all about getting to understand how location based AR makes for a very fun and entertaining use of the environment. So in this game, आपको क्या करने का है? You are walking. It has the same maps as you have. When you're walking, you will actually find some strange Pokemons. So Pokemon is a very, very famous cartoon. Everybody had been watching it for a while, right? And this Pokemon now comes into your mobile phones in reality. So you throw the ball at the Pokemon using your mobile phone, but in reality, there is no object present. So you walk close to it, right? And then you actually start fighting it. So Pokemon is a very interesting game which started showing people today, right from Pokemon, Jurassic Park,
Jay,
mosquitoes.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
We can't see the second screen.
Right. Just give me a minute. Okay. Yes, the problem is. How about now? Have you got my second screen up?
Is this the desktop?
Yeah, this is the desktop.
Yes, yes. Now we can see the screen. Yes, now we can see the screen.
All right. I'm so sorry for it. All right. So what we are looking at currently is Pokemon. Okay, the location-based games that we talked about. So what we are looking at here is a virtual object, यहाँ पे.
So
and this
the
particular
first
cartoon
thing, this
character
feature is just to kind
होगा
of get a sense
and it is in
of
real
flat
life.
surface.
आपको
So I
वहाँ
just
पे
did that, and now I see
पैदल
this
जाना
top
पड़ेगा,
left pop up.
figure them out, and then
asks
work
the,
to literally
the
throw
claim
a virtual
protection
ball
part of
inside
the
the mobile phone
experience.
on top of it.
I'm gonna run to it, and
So
I'm gonna
once you actually
mess up
throw this
on
ball
purpose,
on top
okay?
of it, you start actually capturing the Pokemon by
See,
yourself.
it starts blinking, so it's
So
clearly like it's
this
sensing that I'm
is an
moving.
example
It's right
of
away.
an augmented
So I need
reality
to be
based
careful.
game,
That didn't happen before. That stuff
right?
it wasn't
So
aware of
we
how close
are
you're
going to
getting
rush
before.
to the next one, okay, which is called projection based AR. Very quickly, this is understanding the environment and projecting objects on top of it. Now, this could be a simple car, right? When you're driving a car, आपको आपकी windshield में कुछ information दिखाना है तो दिखा सकते हैं. Or if you want to use it something like this,
You can
where
see this is
people
sea
are
level, at least
moving
that's what it's
different
showing. And I'm
mountain
building a mountain here,
landscapes,
so that's going up the
and
mountain.
in
And each
real
one of these
time,
lines
that
is a
entire
contour
landscape
line.
is
It
being
shows that we're
changed.
going up in elevation away from sea
So
level.
what you're
So
seeing here
they're moving their way
is
up to
a
the top.
projection based AR.
The closed circles up there,
Projector इसके
that
top
represents
है.
the very, very
And
top
whenever
of the
you
mountain.
change the
Now,
landscape
as
or
we work our
the
way down the
hemisphere,
other side of the mountain,
and the
back
entire
down to sea level,
thing
and
gets
all the way
changed,
down
the
to the
whole
bottom of
topography
my
gets
fake
changed. So
little
this is
ocean
used
here,
in
you're going to
disaster
see those
management and
contour
other
lines
locations.
moving down again, all the way
So
down to the bottom.
now that we are understanding, the last kind of AR that we are going to look at and also going to work with is called the superimposition AR. Practically, this kind of AR is with everybody. When I say with everybody, it's there on your mobile phones. आपकी mobile phones पे Instagram है तो ये है. If you have camera filters on your mobile phone, that means you have superimposition AR. So it practically takes something which is already existing. In this particular case, it is taking you.
Try Suzanne Harwood dresses
right?
and gowns in
And
augmented
it is
reality.
taking a sample photograph,
Take photos and
changing what you look
see
like,
outfit information.
and help you try out different dresses. Right? Now this is a far more industrial use case. Now you can change, look around, try out with different variations of the same dress. And a lot of people
Explore
in the
different outfits
entrepreneurship
and find
space
the
are
perfect
creating
dress.
smart mirrors. So आप mirror के आगे रहेंगे तो you can try out various dresses without even changing, from directly from
Download
Reliance
Suzanne
or directly
Harwood
from
Virtual View
any
now.
of the whole setup. So this is an example of all the different types of augmented reality applications that somebody can build. Now, what can you do sitting at home, right? Now, there are two things you can do. The first thing that we are looking at is how AR can actually, start enabling people at homes through camera filters. So to do camera filters at home, the first thing we need to do is download an application called Spark AR Studio. Okay, and Spark AR Studio is going to give you a huge insight to multiple types of AR filters available for you to create. So what do you need apart from Spark AR Studio? Number one, obviously, you would need a Facebook login because the whole thing is controlled by this particular login. It gives you access to multiple templates, your own projects. And what it also does is it also gives you a beginner level introduction to AR technology. And you just need to start from a variety of templates, work your way and get there. So at the shortage of time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run Spark AR for you. And I'm going to give you a very simple example of how we can use it. So once you start Spark AR, just out of confirmation, I'm hoping that you can see my screen and Spark AR here. Right, I'm going to give you a very simple basic rundown of things, right? So what is this rundown of things? Number one, this is your start screen. The moment you start Spark AR, you're going to see this particular screen up. And you have a lot of templates that you can start to begin, creating things with. And we will be covering 3 templates, and we will also be telling you what more you can make out of it, right? So we are going to be starting with the most easiest template, okay, which is called the makeup. Everybody loves the makeup part, so I'm going to start with that. So what happens when you click on makeup is the entire screen is going to go for a toss, and you're going to have a new screen come up, right? So the idea here is you don't need to be a master at Spark AR to begin with, but you can create your own filters moving ahead. So the asset folder, this is where you're going to have your blocks. Blocks are nothing but the rules that defines what the AR thinks you do. Textures are actually the system which is involved, the different kind of maps. And you're going to have anything like audio, all those things put into your assets for usage. Whatever happens in the scene is being controlled by the scene window, right? And what kind of makeup do you want? This particular thing is being controlled by the property here. So once you click on an object in that particular scene, you're going to have multiple properties which are formed by blocks. Now here we are using an existing video as an example, but you could do more like turn on your camera, which I'm going to show you shortly. But before that, let me expand this scene because you're going to be looking at this particular person being changed into multiple formats. So let's say we have a lips color change. Let's say I want to do the purest of yellows just to be more funky, right? So now we have yellow lips, right? And then you're going to have multiple options to try out. Let's say, it's highly reflective. It's a glossy lipstick that is going to come by. Okay, and you can change the eyelashes which is on them, right? So maybe the eyelashes color, maybe I go with a complete red one. So now I have red eyelashes and a very liney, lipstick. But this is not the preview. We need to look at this from a camera perspective. Now, so we click on the video button here. You can choose between multiple people, right? You can choose between multiple people, see how it is, right? Like if you're having a beard, this person would be the great example. How would it look on me? Now, this is where my second camera comes into play. and I'm going to be turning that on, right? And you're going to be seeing me with the same lipstick and eyelashes and stuff. So now you can see my eyelashes are good, and I have a very, very translucent, or whatever you want to call it in terms of the color, right? So this is some fun things that you can begin with, right? So I'm going to stop this particular exercise by saying file, okay, wait, because I don't want to be doing this more, obviously. And let's do something where, we can bring in assets, we can apply it across multiple impacts. Okay. So now what we want to do is start a new template on wings. Okay. And the moment you do that, you're going to have wings come back as a new format again here. So again, I'm going to enable my HD camera here so that you can see the wing is actually tracked to me. So if I move, the wings also get to move, right? And the best part is I am more of a devil than angel, was what my wife keeps telling me. So इसलिए क्या करने वाला है? I'm going to change my wings to something which matches that statement. So I'm going to leave back to the assets part, right? And you can see that it says replace me here. Right click, let's hit replace, and I have the devil wings listed out here as well. Now I have multiple wings for people for you to try out. In fact, as part of this particular slide, once the drive link is shared, you will see you have multiple wings to try out. Okay, so maybe a different kind of maybe a mechanical wing to start with. And when it's face, right, you can see that the mechanical wing is also being animated by the same principles. And I can make this bigger for a little more, great perspective. And we can change this in two perspectives. We can change this into two perspectives if your phone is in portrait mode or if you're looking at landscape mode, right? You can change it multiple times. You can again replace it with something like, let's say, the devil wings. So you're able to see the whole structure. Now, if you like this filter, all you have to do is save this. Okay, let me put this back into perspective. Stop my looking at landscape. Okay, I can literally stop the simulation from here. Like, let's say, save this and hit publish. So the moment you say publish, you can create a new effect given the particular target, which is Android or let's say iOS, and then upload it, which goes into Spark Hub, right? And once it goes to Spark Hub, you can actually get it approved, get it into your Instagram account, and actually start trying these things out. The last but not the least that I want to show you is a lot of people have been doing face painting, right? Especially at home. My daughter is all behind me, where we want to do some kind of art on the faces. Now to do that, we're going to start with the face mask tutorial or template, sorry. And in this particular template, let's understand what this face mask is about, right? So this is a 3D model, and whatever color आपको 3D में दे सकते हैं, it will get reflected. And I would like to have, some kind of a peacock coloring on my face. So now I go to my face paint, and I'm going to be looking at the peacock feather. Now, the important thing about this is you should be looking for PNG transparent images. Now, at any point of this word, if you want to look at graphic or something, you can just open this out and you would be able to see the complete peacock feather being applied to my face. Right? Now, using GIMP, we can edit this image to become transparent. So the example that I'm going to show you here is, and let me just open it up. What you're going to see here is the spider mask, which is not transparent, but I've opened this in GIMP, selected by color, and I've used this as a template for people to actually, put it inside Spark AR. So literally all these white areas are areas which have become transparent in GIMP for me, and I have saved it as a PNG file. Now I'm going to replace this, right click, replace, choose my spidey.png, and immediately you can see my spider mask is on, right? And to preview it, HDCam on. And if you can see, whenever I turn my face, it is also able to match the curvature on that. So now I have a proper mask which is built. Right? When you get closer, it zooms in. When you come back, it gets smaller in scale. All that is possible. And that is why I said Spark AR is a great tool for you to start learning what this is all about. Okay. Now, moving ahead, I'm going to close the demonstration part of it. And I'm going to say something that you can follow up within your own system.
Finally, we have downloaded Spark AI. So let's go to another template. So what?
Okay. All right. If you want to really create anything on your own, right? What we are looking at is a great tool to help you out begin this. So go to codeplanet.in. You would see a tutorial which says how to begin with Unity 3D. Now, this is something that you can take offline, get the basics of Unity 3D and understand this. Now, this is a very professional but yet free application that a lot of people use to start building enterprise. Now here, what you're going to see is how to use Unity 3D, build an environment, and build your very first VR application. So go to codeplanet.in, get into the game developer course, which gives you an introduction to Unity, and then you can come back to Unity and VR and AR integration as well. Now, I'm going to leave you with one experience, right, which is also marked in the slides. So this is from one of the entrepreneurs in India, where they have actually created a series of class 6 to 10 textbook exercises in AR for people to experience. So this particular app is available both on iPhone and also the Android phone. And for people who would like to have the steps towards it, you can follow up through the presentation, which actually says how to install, how to create an account, right? How to add in your complementary code, get onto it, choose the right kind of an experience for you, and start working on AR experience. So this is the QR marker you need if you are on a low-end mobile phone. And if you are on a Snapdragon and other kind of a newer mobile phone, right, or the iPhone, you don't need this QR code. So now what do you actually get it is very simple. So we are talking about a very simple application. So this one talks about the need for battery systems. So we are just scanning the particular location. Once the location is scanned, we are able to generate a 3D content on top of it, look at, zoom in, arrange it, and then it also tells what is the use of light and how do you actually build this particular light as a series of batteries and electronics. And virtually you can try out different batteries and also how the flashlight operation works. So this is something you can try out. There are other list of applications that we wanted to give you and say, please go and especially try the AR watch application. It needs you to print a simple armband, but once you print it, you can try out different watches in your hand. So go crazy, try working with this, and figuring out as much as you want to do it. Now, I hope I've given you a great introduction to AR, VR, MR, right? Now, we are only now understanding AR, VR as technologies. We are only able to create what we have seen as problems. Now, as a thought people, as people who are beginning to think products for design, what you would need is not the technology part, but the problem part. Try to understand the problems regionally which you face day to day. Try to work with multiple people, try to work with personalities, try to talk and identify one problem you can solve using AR and VR. That is how you define your first product. Now, once you define your first product, you can work with multiple teams, people like 3D animation, people like gaming, just to give you a sense of what Ronak said when I started, right? जब मैंने शुरू किया था, I was hardcore coding programming person. And मेरा code सब C पे हो रहा था. Once I learned that, just coding is not going to be sufficient because code is supposed to solve a problem for me. That is when I started looking at other options. I added designing skills to me. I spoke to a friend of mine who was a great script writer. I spoke to another person who taught me how physics in computers work, right? We all got together and we created too many applications where we speak to people about how you can join us, how you can actually, play with us and learn with us. So that is where we created Dua. Dua is a very old OpenGL based game जहाँ पे people get together in 64-bit LAN system and we talk to each other, experiment with multiple algorithms. That was my first product. In fact, when we were creating simple fun-based programs, we even created games, in computer science laboratories. जब हमको data structures class हो रहा था, when my 10th standard teacher was saying, logo बोल के एक application है, have you tried it? So we were using this to build new engaging applications for life. Now, as entrepreneurs, what I would say is start doing the same. Think about solving problem for people and then us using this technology as a tool like hammer. We can hammer out a product which will solve the people's problem, and that is where you move on to the next step. Today, if you look at Google Maps or if you look at cameras and everything, they solve one problem or the other for the people. So focus on being great entrepreneurs, focus on being great idealistic people who have a positive attitude towards coming up ahead. And we will be launching our own series of spaces, right? IIT Madras is going to be dedicating a section of effort towards virtual reality, augmented reality research center, where we will love to work with everyone, where when I say everyone, industry, startups, researchers, right? And help all the young entrepreneurs here become great visionaries and product evangelists. Now, I am going to be inviting all of you for the professor talk, which will happen shortly. But at the same time, what I'm also requesting everybody is start throwing your questions now so that I can take them up as a series of Q&A sessions, give you more answers and insights to the whole program. And also do share some feedbacks to what you felt, whether the session was engaging and it gave you insights to, most of the things happening around you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, Janesh, for this wonderful experience and presentation, and also sharing some of the key insights, and also showing us how to create some interesting animations using augmented reality and virtual reality as such. The first question is from the majority of the students which are participating on the specific YouTube live, is that um, are all of these softwares free to use? Are these open source? Are these freewares? Can you just please shed a some light on this?
Sure. So let me get that. Let me, keep the screen clear for the session. Yes, most of the softwares are free. In fact, Spark AR, you just need a Facebook account, right? Apart from that, there is no other restriction there. And if you look at Unity, again, Unity is free, right? On the open source market, right? Where normally, people get mixed up with freeware and open source. Open source is you also get the coding part of it. So you could try AR in MIT App Inventor if you're an open source fan, right? But at the same time, you could also work with things like OpenCV, which is a completely coding-based platform. Now, whatever we have shown inside this, it's all free, right? Go home tonight or bother your parents, get them to agree for your downloads, get them to agree for your liberties, and just move ahead and start experimenting. Go crazy.
Okay. Okay. So I'll just share this with my audience in Hindi as well. ये सभी जो आपके पास resources हैं, ये open source हैं, ये freewares हैं. Okay, आप इनको leverage करके professional level of innovations or professional level of animations definitely create कर सकते हैं. Okay. What are the uses of a virtual reality headset, and how does Google Cardboard actually work? Is the second question.
Okay, so we have a lot of VR headsets to count, right? But I'm just going to go with the top three. The first one is Oculus, which is a Facebook company, right? And they have created Oculus Quest. Now, why is this number one? It's a dual use headset, which means like आप उसको without any missions use कर सकते हैं, or directly plug into a 3D mission and make it more powerful. So the second one is obviously coming in from Microsoft. Microsoft has created this mixed reality. Windows 10 के साथ Windows mixed reality platform is available to everybody for free, right? And you could just plug in, any VR headset from Dell or any of the, Microsoft partners, hardware partners, who are able to give it, like HP and other people who have brought it to India, right? And you can just plug them in and start utilizing it. Or you go for the enterprise grade HTC Vive, which industry-based companies really use them. Now, where does Google Cardboard come in all here? Google Cardboard is a very entry level offer, which is like आपको कुछ VR try करना है तो start with Google Cardboard. Slowly climb your ladder. यहाँ पे difference ये है कि hardware का capacity और capability और कुछ नहीं. So you have something which Google Cardboard, you can start creating apps. There is a particular limit to your application. Then you move on to the next level of hardware and so on. So as an entrepreneur, or a tinkering mission, focus on Cardboard to begin with. But once you get an acquaintance to VR, I think you can progress into the professional hardwares available in the market.
Okay, thank you so much, Janesh. And obviously, मैं भी personally cardboard prototyping को सबसे पहले preach करता हूँ. Paper prototyping, cardboard prototyping is the most cheapest, basic form of prototyping that we really need to do. So do cardboard prototyping as much as you can. The final question that I'll be taking up, and I'll also take an opportunity to answer that specific question, is the students have asked, many of the students have asked that what is the name of the application which has been used in the video, what are the different where can I find all of these different presentation and where can I download all these relevant softwares. काफी बच्चों ने आप सभी ने पूछा है कि आप प्लीज ये जो पीपीटी पीडीएफ डॉक्यूमेंट्स और जो भी रिसोर्सेज है वो शेयर कीजिए हमारे साथ ताकि हम भी इस पे आगे काम कर सके। जैसे जय जय नयेश ने बताया है ये सब चीजें हम आपके साथ शेयर करने वाले हैं। वी आर गोइंग टू शेयर दिस विद यू एंड आफ्टर दिस वीडियो एंड्स ये वीडियो के डिस्क्रिप्शन में आपको इनके सभी लिंक्स मिल जाएंगे। ठीक है, you just have to go to the video's description and just open up the description link and you will have access to all these resources. We will try to upload as much content as we can, but don't worry, this particular video will stay in on this channel for a substantial amount of time, and you can always come back to this video and refer to it as and when required. And with that, we are almost at the time limit and at the closing of this particular YouTube live session. And for that, I would just request Jay Naresh to invite his colleagues and professors from the Institute of Madras to share their closing thoughts and final messages with all of us.
So I would like to introduce to you all Professor Manivannan. Right, he's from IIT Madras, and the best thing is he formulated India's first touch lab, which talks about all the experience of touch, and it's one of a kind. I think India में ऐसी कुछ facility कहीं पे नहीं है, and now we are expanding the touch lab to experiential technology. So, Professor, on to you. Please share your thoughts to these young minds.
Thank you, Jay. Good evening, all children. I hope now you had a very good learning session from Jay's video. I hope you learned a little bit of AR and VR. I'm sure you are all waiting to do things all by yourself. I think this is the main purpose of the tinkering lab. So I'm glad the Niti Aayog tinkering lab is organizing such sessions. I'm very happy to see such sessions and encouraging young minds like you. So I'm going to add only one thing to what Jay Naresh has already mentioned to you. So he has spoken to you a lot of technologies. Only one thing is that all these technologies is adding live experience to the human being. Whoever is wearing this headset, whether it is a AR headset or VR headset or MR headset, it is providing live experience of something. Right? So what I wanted to emphasize is that these are not the only technologies. There are many other technologies, right? Haptics, which is called the science of touch, where you can touch and feel the virtual objects. What you see it in the virtual reality or augmented reality, you can actually feel, touch and feel it, right? That is the technology that's again adding experience to the live experience to you in the virtual environment, right? One simple example could be the meeting video we are seeing, right? So you can see my face, Jay Naresh's face and Ronak's face, and you can also hear it. But would you be able to touch and feel the things on the screen, seen on the screen? That is a feature. Can we touch and feel it? Right? That is one another technology. Then there are 3D displays are coming up. Right? There are holographic displays are coming up. There are light field displays are coming up. There are technologies which is adding the experience, live experience of the different environment to subjects. This all things called the experiential technology. In IIT Madras, we realized that this experiential technology is the future. Therefore, we have started a separate center for experiential technology. We call it as a Experiential Technology Innovation Center. XTIC, Experiential Technology Innovation Center. This is going to be inaugurated next month. This is one of the first kind of center in India, which is specifically focusing on and experiential technology and inventing new technology for experience, right? Like VR, AR, and MR, touch, and other displays as well. Now, you children now who are interested can also be part of this center. You need to be, you need to take part in a boot camp, which we are going to conduct. Niti Aayog is going to conduct in the coming days. Whoever is the best performer in the boot camp, they can join this center as an intern, and that way, you can take part in the center. So you need to be prepared for the boot camp, and I hope you all looking for the boot camp. And to take part in the boot camp, you need to be first safe. You need to stay safe during this COVID time, right? So wear mask and do the sanitations and everything, as government has told you, right? So stay safe, and hope to see you all in the boot camp. Till then, take care. See you then. Thank you. Thank you, Naresh. Thank you, Ronak.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you so much, Janayesh, and thank you so much, Professor Manivannan. With that, we come to the closure of one very interesting workshop of the Tinkerpreneur series. Today, we learned what our augmented reality, virtual reality, and XR is all about, and we also did some hands-on exercises and experience some of its elements as well. आज हमने XR, VR और AI के बारे में काफी कुछ सीखा है और इनके कुछ एलिमेंट्स के बारे में हैंड्स ऑन प्रैक्टिस करने की भी कोशिश की है. With that, I thank all of you. Do like, share, and subscribe to the Atal Innovation Mission page. अटल इनोवेशन मिशन का वेबसाइट भी है, आपके पास फेसबुक पेजेस और ट्विटर हैंडल्स भी हैं, एंड यू कैन ऑलवेज कनेक्ट टू अस एज वेल. आप मुझसे जय से भी फेसबुक, ट्विटर या यूट्यूब से कनेक्टेड रह सकते हैं, हमारी टीम से कनेक्टेड रह सकते हैं, अटल इनोवेशन मिशन की पूरी टीम के साथ भी कनेक्टेड रह सकते हैं. With that, I thank all of you, Jainesh, Professor Manivanan, my colleagues at Atal Innovation Mission, and the students and the teachers and the mentors who have joined for this particular YouTube live. And as always, happy tinkering. Thank you so much.